What's up, y'all? Last of Us official review, man. I was so excited about this, man. So if you haven't seen it, turn this off now and go watch it. Come back. We finna get into this, man. Shout out to everybody that's been supporting my channel, man. Y'all keep doing that work. I'm gonna keep bringing y'all this work. Just a few quick points. Already gave y'all the spoiler warning. I'm not giving you any more. Quick points. If you haven't played the video game because you're on Xbox and you must have PlayStation, that's fine. We're not here to talk about that. Just know the first episode is exactly how it went in the game. Straight up. I am really impressed about how it all turned out. Only thing different was the beginning, which is why I'm going to start right now. So look, that interview was very, very important. Like it set the tone and the message of what we were about to get into. Like I forgot his character name, but John Hanna, how he was talking, he like the crowd was laughing, the host was laughing, all that stuff. They didn't really take him seriously, but he never changed his demeanor. He wanted to get his point across, and he was just like, I'm finna blow your minds away. So they was all laughing, and it got to the point where one of the dudes was trying to discredit him, like fungi, trying to discredit him. Then he was like, yes, I know the basic details about fungus, but what if it mutates? So once he said that, everybody start paying attention to every word he was saying. Which is crazy is when somebody makes you question what you already know, you start to pay attention. Like, oh, wait a minute, wait, I didn't think of that. Or question something that you never even thought of. So it was like new information. Your mind instantly started to gravitate towards it. So they just started to gravitate towards every word he was saying. And he was saying some facts. Like, what if this? What if that? I know it says it infects the body. So it adapts to its climate change, which a lot of things do adapt. It takes over the body. It keeps you alive. It doesn't kill you because it needs to live, but it bends you to its will. So it's basically controlling you, making you see what it wants to see, making you act how it wants you to act, while maintaining your body stays alive. So all this stuff you talk about, you've seen like a dark cloud just go over the whole studio. Just like you could just see it. Like it was so eerie. Like I'm like, man, that's next level acting right there. That was so dope. That part was well needed. So get to that. Fast forward to where Joe, Tommy, and Sarah. So Joe and Sarah obviously is father and daughter, and Tommy is the brother, basically Sarah's uncle. So little small details from that, from Sarah, like the same shirt that Sarah was wearing, which is crazy, was the same shirt that she was wearing in the video game. So they really like did their research and took their time. Like that shit was crazy. So that was dope. So they go down there, they have a little family breakfast. You find out that it's Joe's birthday, and then she wanted to surprise him by fixing his watch because Joe was supposed to fix his watch. Never had got around to do it because Joe struck me as the forgetful type, which she is because the only thing that's is a priority is taking care of his daughter. Tommy is the nonchalant type, just relax. Of course, total opposites, but they all function well together. But Joe is basically the protector, the older brother. So she goes and before they leave, this was part that stick out to me the most. You remember the part when they were sitting there when dude was outside with his mother feeding him biscuits. It's funny, sound like a dog feeding her biscuits, and he was feeding her like you like force feeding her. Like her mind didn't have the bodily function. So I'm looking at this. I'm like, why are they showing this part? Like they gotta be showing this for a reason. So I'm already getting in my analyzer mode. Like, wait a minute. So he's feeding her, trying to force. She's trying to chew, but she can't really chew. So I'm like, this is crazy. Like this is real, real crazy. They're showing this for a reason. So I'm analyzing her. She can't really chew. Like she got a blank stare. Like the motor function like that. Like the brain is working, but it's not working to its full capacity. It's not even working to half capacity. Even a fourth. Like she basically looked like a damn vegetable. So I'm paying attention to all that. So I'm like, all right, they're showing that for a reason, but we'll get to that later. She goes to get the watch fix, just hear about stuff happening on the news, like get a glimpse of that when they're at the breakfast table. Stuff happening on the news about far away, then you hear planes and all this stuff. The whole episode, something is up. Like you just know. So the whole episode just got you just like this, like you can't just like something bad's about to happen. You can't shake it feeling. So she goes back home. Joe is at work. She goes to help the neighbors, and then there's a scene when she goes into the room, and you can just see Sarah, but you can't really see the grandmother. She kind of blurred out, and then you start to see like a transformation, but not a full blown transformation. You just start to see a transformation. So you see her open her mouth. I'm like, oh snap, she about to get up? Is she about to get up? And you just see her just sit there and just shut down. So I was like, whoa, did that just happen? Is the parasite beginning to take over her body? Is that what's happening? So after that happened, I'm like, man, this is crazy. I was like, oh, Sarah, you gotta go. So I'm thinking that Sarah gets out of there. And Joe come home, and this is another small detail. He forgets the cake and all that stuff. I know I didn't mention that earlier, but he forgets his birthday cake because he don't really care. The movie that they was watching, that she picked from the neighbor's house, the movie they was watching, shows up. It's not even a spoiler. Shows up later in like the second video game. Like it's crazy that like the details. Like that one says 2, but on the other one it's like it's a poster that says 4. So it's like stuff that doesn't even affect the story, but it's glad that they pay attention to it. So they give her to watch. He puts it on, happy and all that stuff. So in the video game, this does happen. They watch TV, and Sarah does fall asleep, and then he takes her to the bed. In the movie, in the show, Tommy goes to jail. So he goes, then he gets Tommy. So she goes down. So Sarah wakes up later and hear the ambulance, and the helicopters, everything going chaotic, everything. So she goes downstairs, and Sarah is just nice, sensitive, just you could tell she's very caring, like very, very caring. You could tell that Joe is overprotective of her, like really cares about her, like cares about what she thinks of him and everything. Like that's how Sarah is. And I think Nico Parker, that's her real name. She adapt the Sarah role really, really good. So like the first scene, the interview set the tone, and her adoption, his adoption of Joe, and everybody's adoption of these characters that we have met so far, sets another tone. Like they really committed to this role. So it's like the reason why I think it was working is because you get one tone set, and then everybody else is like starting to follow suit. So you get the tone. So it's like tone, but at the same time, the tone being set, boom, 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 character that like you come in more of that person. The show likability is just going up. It's like, oh. So if you go next door, you get your first introduction of what would be a clicker. They call them clickers. So what would be a clicker? So she walks in, you don't see the grandmother sitting in the chair no more. So I'm like, that's why they show that part in the beginning where the grandmother couldn't basically function. Now she's walking around. So she walks into the kitchen, almost with some blood. You see the grandmother eating eating her family. So she gets up and you see the parasite, and I'm like, Sarah, start running. Run, Sarah. So you black. So run, Sarah. So she takes off, runs outside, and at the same time, Joe pulls up. But only difference with that in the video game, Sarah came downstairs looking for her dad and seeing the news and all that stuff in the TV wasn't working. Goes downstairs, look for her dad. Her dad runs in after he already killed the neighbor, one of the neighbors. And then one of the neighbors come on the other door and he shoots the neighbor when he wants to. That was the only difference. So this one, the grandmother gets up, which was genius because it lets you know how powerful the infection is. That's so smart. So she gets up, she's running. This 90-year-old running, sprinting at Sarah, and then boom, gets hit with a wrench, killed. So Sarah's seeing that, she's like, oh my God, you killed her. So she's sensitive and all that stuff, and that's not how Sarah's built. And then immediately you start to think like, damn, with all this going on, push comes to shove, Sarah's not going to be able to really adapt to the surroundings. Like you have to, it's turning into a kill or be killed. That's basically, and how do you can't live your life You can, but you can't. You can't protect her every second. There's gonna be time when she goes out when she doesn't. Sarah doesn't have that protective, like protect myself by any means necessary. And I'm glad that they showed that because it ties in later into with the story. It's like night and day. Sarah doesn't have that gene to her, so they go and what you see on the show is exactly how it happened on the game. The plane falling, the people running in the street, all that stuff. All that stuff is exactly how it happened. When the crash happened, Tommy getting separated from them, and they come on meet him, and then them being chased by one of the clickers and all that stuff in the street, and the way that the clicker was just running. Well, it wasn't a full-blown clicker. He was just in the beginning stages. So the way that he was running, jumping and diving and falling, I was like, this is crazy. So then Tommy coming and saving the day. Was it Tommy? No, it was not Tommy. I'm getting too far ahead of myself. Oh my God. All right. Tommy did come, but not yet. Not yet. So the dude shot the clicker, one of the soldiers. And you just knew, if you played the video game, you knew what was about to happen, but you was still not ready for it. You still not ready for it. So Sarah dies. Sarah gets shot in the stomach. He was ordered to kill both of them. He was holding Sarah because Sarah couldn't walk because she twisted her ankle. Sarah gets shot in the stomach. So they roll down the hill, and it's exactly how they did in the video game. So everything is like exactly like the video game, like craziness. Sarah laying there. You just you just hated to see it, and the emotion from him watching his daughter die, like daughter get shot. That's when Tommy comes to shoot the dude because he's about to finish him. Tommy comes to shoot the dude, and he gets up and sees his daughter dying. Ain't nothing. I just know. Watching your daughter die in front of your face, that's crazy. And that's why in the trailer you see him with the watch with the bullet hole in it, because that's what happened. So Sarah dies. Bad. She played Sarah so good. Like, she played it so good, even though you knew it was about to happen, you didn't want it to happen. Let me get out that because that's crazy. So Sarah dies. Then it goes fast forward 20 years later. And another scene that they threw in was when the little boy collapsed, and they go and they test him and find out that he's positive for the virus, and they end up killing him. And you see Joe, you know, they burning bodies. You see Joe and Tess. Well, you don't know who Tess was. Tess was like, I can't do it. So you see that they just killed that little boy, and he goes to grab the little boy and throw him like nothing, because basically he just seen his daughter die. He's dead inside. That happens, and then we're gonna fast forward. Hold on, let me look at my notes real fast. We're gonna fast forward to introduction of Ellie. Now, Ellie is about the same age as Sarah was, but at the same time, Ellie, the total opposite of Sarah, like the total opposite. It was like night and day. That's why Sarah playing her role so well sets the stage for Ellie. Now you just need Ellie to execute her role. So Ellie was like aggressive. She got that killer be killed attitude. Total opposite of Sarah. Like straight Sarah was on her mind. Cursing, all that stuff. So Ellie was the straight dog, basically. So introduction of her, and then introduction of Marlene, who's the leader of the Fireflies. Fireflies is the group that's fighting against the military, basically trying to take over. They're trying to change their ways. They're doing all that stuff. So that's who that is. There comes this scene where you come face to face with a clicker. You come face to face with a clicker, but the clicker's dead. So that's like almost the full form, but not yet. I was hoping, I was like, oh, they finished show. I was like, they can't do it just yet, because they did skip a scene where I can't say it. Oh my God. I almost did it. I'm looking directly at my notes, and that's right here, bold writing. Don't say it. I'm not going to say it. But that scene might come later. Actually, I'm pretty sure that scene is going to come later, which is going to be a great ass scene when it shows. So we're going to fast forward. You meet Marlene in the Firefly. We're going to fast forward that. We're going to fast forward where Tess got beat up and was trying to get a baddie so they can get out. And then go back to kill the dude. They didn't even show that in the game. They have that part where you actually kill him, so they skip over that. Now you got a hallway dead bodies. So this is Tess, Joe, and Marlene, leader of the Firefly, and Marlene's basically right hand woman, right there, and they come in the meeting. Then this is Joe's first meeting of Ellie. Ellie tries to stab Joe, throws it to the side, boom. Honestly, which is crazy, I think this like the first time it's weird because when he first meet Ellie, it was like he was seeing his daughter low key. It was like the first time he really paid attention to another child, and then that's when it was forced to take her out of the walls and go on a little journey. Okay, so to wrap this up, because like I said, I don't want this to be too long. So to wrap this up, we're gonna skip past all that. They get their first glimpse of the clicker. Joe meets Ellie, and Marlene convinces Joe and Tess to take Ellie to the outside of the wall, so another base. But there's a reason for that. So they get out, they wait till nighttime. Even the little scene of them being in the house is exactly how it happens in a video game. So we can skip past all that. That's details, but it's not too much details. So Ellie is with him. They get ready to go outside the walls. Joe meets the soldier that he knew that catches them outside the wall. They get tested. Joe is clean. Tess is clean. You don't see Ellie. You see Ellie start to act weird. So she stabs him. Boom. Like after they got the reading. Stabs him. Joe gets in front of Ellie, and flashbacks happen. Flashbacks of when his daughter, the flashing light. So he just goes to primal attack mode, like protection. I gotta protect her. So it's like he sees glimpses of his daughter, like because they're around the same age. So he goes and he basically beats the man to death. He beats the dude to death, but if you notice as he's beating him to death, pay attention to Ellie. Ellie looking at him, but she likes it. She's intrigued. She's like, wait a minute. So this is when she started to get attached to Joe. This is exactly when she started to get attached to him. Like, oh, like he can protect me. Like I feel safe because he's in front of me. He's protecting me from this dude. So he's protecting me. And not only is that, he's showing me that he's willing to protect me. But like it was like she was trying, like I seen the actual actor trying to capture it. Like she was looking at him, beating him up. It was not trying to smile, but she was trying to add like a little smirk, but actually mixed it with a little infatuation. Like, whoa. Like this is not my dad, but protecting me. He didn't have to. Like, whoa. But and then after that, you find out Ellie's secret, which her and Marlene talked about previously in the episode. Ellie turns out to be infected. So Ellie's been infected. There's a reason why she's infected. She tells him that the scar that she got is 3 weeks old. And then it goes off. Like I said, I had to give myself notes because I know a lot more and I don't want to ruin it. And we're just gonna leave it right there. So it goes off. They go into little previews of what's coming up, but they don't really tell you what's the dialogue between them. I'm not gonna tell you what dialogue is. We want to go through this journey together, episode by episode. I'm gonna try to keep these like under 30 minutes, so we're gonna get to it. My official rating. I don't like to rate episodes of a base of a story. I like to see the whole completion of the totality of the whole thing. Like I can't rate it by that season. I can do that, but even at, let's say I get an episode of 10, then I get the next episode of 9, then I get the next episode of 7, or whatever. Each episode are pieces to a puzzle, so I can't really rate it. I can't. All I can say is the adaptation, the characteristics. Like even when it was sneaking through like minor details, even when it was sneaking out the walls, the way Ellie was hugged up on Joe, the way that Joe was in testing all of them was moving, was exactly how they would move in the video game. So I would like to see how they would move when some action happens. That's what I would like to see. That's what I'm looking forward to, because the way that they was hiding from the lights and all that stuff was exact identical. Like you could put a side by side of everything that was going on. It's exactly how it happened in the damn video game, which I was really impressed. They didn't like change too much. They made it like they really did their homework. They really want this show to work because the story itself was already good. They really didn't have to do too much altering. I'm really excited. This is a really good start. I'm glad that it turned out this way. I was still sad about Sarah. I'm glad that the way Sarah portrayed her role, like day, and then you meet Ellie as this night, because if Sarah didn't just do such a good job with her role, Ellie, I don't know, like you just have, it's just like those subtle differences. Like the old lady in the chair, you can see the effect of the virus. How Tommy saved his brother, but he couldn't bring himself to see his niece laid out, but he already knew what it was. Like all that, all the emotion, everything was on point. I'm really glad that they did this. Like I said, I can't give it a rating because we haven't seen the whole thing, but the first episode was really good. That has been my official review. Hope you'll come around for more. Episode 2. Holla.